Welcome to the HVAC Diaries.
Oh, you came back for some more HVAC adventures. Well, I don't blame you. I've got lots of adventures to take you on this week, so welcome to the HVAC Diaries. This episode of the HVAC Diaries is brought to you by 𝐑𝐄𝐋𝐄𝐕𝐀𝐍𝐓. So this week was a mashup of running errands, a bunch of service calls, and a couple of maintenance services with filter changes and stuff like that. I think our most interesting or exciting job this week was at our meat supplier. We've been there quite a lot lately, but this time we were called because their island cooler was just not really holding temperature. So you dealt with that. We looked at a couple of refrigeration units at an arts center. They have like an arts gallery and a stage, and it's just an arts center. And they've got this little bar for their events and stuff like that, and it was totally frozen over. And we also looked at a few of their other refrigeration pieces while we were there. We were called to a kids' daycare because they've got this ductless split system inside their room, and it wasn't turning on, it wasn't doing anything at all. So we took a look at that. We visited a little home business. She's a florist, and she's got a few different coolers that keep her flowers nice and cool and everything. And one of hers just wasn't holding temperature. We had a service call to a bubble tea place. They had two coolers for us to look at. One of them was a prep cooler, and the other one was a display cooler at the front of their little store. We were called to a multi-tenanted office building where they've got mostly lawyers in the building, and one of their air conditioners just wasn't working. I did 1 day of maintenance and filter changes with my dad and my brother. These two massive 15-ton rooftop units at a commercial laundry or a dry cleaner. And then I spent 1 day solo doing HVAC maintenances and filter changes. One place I went to does really high-end kitchen appliances. Here, I've got 3 carrier units to service here. And the other one does kitchen and bathroom countertops. You guys know the water pump motor that we took from the cooling tower a couple weeks ago? My dad's been working on it. He's just been servicing it at the workshop and everything. And he sent me out to get some OEM parts for it. So we just grabbed some spare parts for that BAC motor that we're going to service. And I just want to show you guys what we got for $475. We got this little spring. We got this little ceramic seal. We got this like cardboard looking gasket, and then a couple of screws and stuff. And that cost $475. At the Pilates studio we've been working quite a lot at lately, they have an extractor fan that just stopped working. And so all we needed there was a new controller to control it, to make it work. Yes, that makes total sense. All right, guys. Well, if you're ready to go on these HVAC adventures, I'm ready to take you. Let's go.
So we had a call from our meat supplier saying that one of their 2 island coolers was just not holding temperature. And when we checked their little temperature sensor thingamajiggy here, we're at like 8 degrees Celsius, which is really not good. We're just confirming that that temperature is close to correct, and 7.5 is pretty high. Both of these coolers run off of the same condensing unit on the roof, and they're controlled by the same controller. So when we checked the second unit and we found it sitting at like 0 degrees, we figured there must be something wrong with the other one, very likely a fan motor. The fan motors in these island coolers are located under everything, so we started unpacking. And luckily for us, they keep everything in bins or little totes, so we just had to get rid of those, and then we got rid of the shelving, and then underneath are the plates that will expose the evaporator fans. And just as we suspected, one fan was working and one fan was not. I can't believe there's only 2 fans in this thing. Would not spin. Seized motor.
All right, so we were here last week for this, these evaporator fans. And the point I'm making here is the ones that we had in that one didn't have plugs, so we had to add a plug, if you recall from last week's vlog. But this one does come with the plug, so I don't know. Sometimes these things are easy and sometimes they're not.
So these are just 9-watt motors. This one is round and they come in squares as well. Like most motor changes, it starts with removing the blade. I usually mark the top of it, pull out the motor, and then I'm just going to work on the inside of this right here. But because this is YouTube and the power of movie magic, I've already replaced that motor and now I'm putting it back in. Blade gets put back on, and then I can power this thing up and watch my handiwork. Amazing. Trevor and I packed everything back into the cooler as best as we could, although we didn't really know where the things went because we haphazardly took them out. Everything's labeled, but I'm sure it's fine. But look at our temperature. It is looking so much better than it was before. Right, we're crossing a bridge now onto the next job. We're going to change some filters at this commercial laundry place and dry cleaning place. They've got so many different kinds of laundry machines and stuff in here. It's pretty crazy. And because of the amount of heat that's generated downstairs, we've got these 2 massive 15-ton units. I've got quite a story about their installation. And this is brand new, this car elevator that's kind of across the way. We stopped to look at it. Anyway, back to work.
So these 2 big 15-ton units do the place downstairs, and then they have an office upstairs, which is heated and cooled by this little unit. So we got this guy and these 2.
The units themselves are massive, but the steel structures that the engineer made us put them on just make it ridiculous. I need a ladder just to access the filters. And yeah, it's a bit slow going because I got to take each filter out one by one, go down the ladder, drop it, and then go up for the next one. So I can complain about that, and I think I just did. But yeah, it's a little bit slow. And there are 6 filters in each of the units. These are 24 by 24 by 2 filters. And it's a little bit of a struggle. Just climb up the ladder and get the filter in, and then do it all again 6 times. Actually, 12 times. This is the second unit. Just doing the same thing. Grabbing the filter, climbing down. So at this place, they want us only to change the filters once a year, just before summertime. And these filters are filthy. The coils do not look very good either. They once inquired about washable filters. And it's like as if you guys are going to go up on the roof, take the filter out, wash it, and then put it back. Highly unlikely. Anyway, these units each have 3 compressors in them. They've got 2 really large blowers, and Trevor is just greasing the bearing on the back blower. Made you look at his butt. They each have 4 condenser fan motors, and one of the 8 was not working, so we'll be back to replace that guy. Just gonna grab the model number of this unit so we get the correct motor and capacitor.
We're gonna recommend that he cleans this coil. It's pretty dirty. This will be so satisfying to clean. I can't wait to clean it.
We also checked their extractor fan, changed the V-belt, and greased the bearings. We're all good here. So that art center I was telling you about is located by this really pretty park. And I wanted to get more videos of the inside, and I think I could have, but we were escorted by the guy there the whole way, so I was kind of being stealthy. And this is their bar. We're going to check out this under-counter cooler that's not working. Unfortunately, when we came, the evaporator was completely frozen over on the inside. And so we couldn't really do much with this until it's thawed out. I did see the sight glass flashing a little bit, but that just could have been an indication of the frozen evaporator. So we're gonna have to come back tomorrow once this is thawed out. We did check out a couple of other units. This one was making a noise.
The cowling around the motor, flopping on the top.
Pretty easy to fix. There was no other faults on this little cooler. We also checked out this back cooler. Just, I guess it's got beverages and stuff like that. And we also checked out an ice machine, which I did not get a video of. Boo-hoo. Off we go to the next one. Now we're going to a kids' daycare where they've got a little ductless split system that is not working at all, like no power or anything. So we checked the outdoor unit, found power to this unit. So we checked the thermostat on the inside. They actually have an identical unit in a different room. So we pulled this thermostat off, tried that other thermostat, but still no go. So we did a couple more checks, and turns out the control board on the indoor unit needs to be replaced. But unfortunately, because of the brand and the age of the system, there are no spare parts available at all. So we're just waiting for the customer to let us know what they want to do next. I'm really excited for our next job. It's a home-based business. It's a florist. Look how cute this little place is. So you go inside and she's got all these flower coolers. This one was working. And then you go through this little arch and into the back area where she's got another cooler that is unfortunately not holding temperature right now. So she's got all of her flowers outside and they're just so beautiful. I love it. Unfortunately, she's got a refrigerant leak, so we performed a leak test but couldn't find anything conclusive. We're just doing a little bit of a test with our field piece, probes, and temperature clamps, and it came down to temperature pretty quickly. So she's just going to monitor this cooler and see how it performs. Now we're headed to this little bubble tea place. Look how cute this place is. Oh my goodness. So they've got two coolers for us to look at here, a prep cooler in the back, which we found some really burnt wiring. Look at this wire nut. Ugh.
Melty.
Trev had to pry those starting components off of it. They were so badly burnt in there, and the wire actually burnt all the way up. So we had to do a bit of replacing. Look at this thing. What a mess.
It has to get redone because I have to redo the wires going to the fan as well, because that's melted here as well.
These wires are so burnt and brittle, like literally just breaking off in our fingers right there. So we cut them all back. I went to the truck to grab a new start kit for those starting components on the compressor and some new wires so that we could run new wires because the rest had been burnt. These Supco 3-in-1 hard start kits contain a relay, an overload, and a start capacitor. So we just wired that in, got a couple new power cables wired in as well. Everything's all nicely buttoned up, and now we're starting her up. And after a few minutes, we are nicely down to temperature. They also had us look at their display cooler at the front of their store, which was turned off when we arrived. We've actually looked at this system before, like 2 years ago. We had a little refrigerant leak in it, but unfortunately, the way this cooler is built, it is inaccessible. Like there's no way to access the evaporator at all. So this is one of those that we're probably just going to have to do a little top up on every 2 or 3 years, and it takes less than a pound of refrigerant when we top it up. Only took a couple of minutes before this thing started to come down really quickly, so we'll probably be back in a couple of years to do it all again. Filter pickup time. And I'm solo today. I'm gonna go change filters.
Just arrived at my first job of the day here. I've got 3 carrier units to service here. And that guy behind me. And this place does really high-end kitchen appliances. They've got a big showroom downstairs with all of their stuff, and it's actually kind of cool. They've got a demo kitchen as well. So they have people come and they, I guess, cook with the appliances and stuff like that. And then, yeah, it's kind of like a nice event or whatever. the lady in the reception just told me that they've got one of those today at 3 o'clock. So I got a few hours, but I'm gonna hustle here and get out of here as soon as I can. So I'm gonna start with this unit. Let's go. I'm really, really close to the airport here. I have planes coming over so low. They just keep coming and coming and coming.
I didn't film too much of this service because I've done this many times before, even on the vlog, so I kept it nice and short and sweet.
So this unit has the insulation on the inside like just falling apart. So I'm gonna try a new to me, new Calgon product called Spray and Bond. It's just an adhesive. So I'm gonna try that on here. And what this is like a web spray. It sprays in a web pattern. So yeah, just gonna give it a go and see how it works, if it does.
Let's give the can a good shake, then spray the stuff on liberally onto the surface, and then give it a couple of minutes so that it gets tacky. And then you just push the two surfaces together, or push the one surface onto the other. I like to just hold it there for a second. Yeah.
I think that worked really well. Sorry, it's pretty loud here, but this was really good. It worked really easily. It sprayed in a nice like fan spray really evenly, and it works. The thing is stuck, so.
And voila, the result. I'm pleased.
All right, this V-belt has got lots of tiny little cracks in it. So I'm gonna replace it. Look, it's all worn here. All right, so I need an A39 belt, which is what I picked up this morning. And always leave a spare for another time. So let's tuck that guy in here. And we'll tuck it underneath here. And then we'll replace this one right now. I thought it might be cool to show you how I get some of the shots of myself working. So I've got my 360 camera. I've got this like magnetic base, and it's got a little notch so you can like make it angle, and then you lock it in place with that. And then I got my selfie stick, and then my camera, which I'm just gonna turn on right now. And then I should get a pretty cool angle of me working on this thing. Oh my gosh, the traffic here is so loud. Don't they know I'm filming? Obviously, come on.
Always start by killing power. And now I've loosened the bolts. There's 4 bolts holding this motor up. I've loosened them all. You can push the motor up towards the blower, and then you can take the V-belt off easily. Chuck that one out of the way. And start getting the new one on. And yeah, how cool is this angle? I friggin' love this camera so much for vlogging. Well, now I'm at the next job site. Sorry for that abrupt transition. I guess I stopped filming after the V-belt change.
So this place, as you probably saw downstairs, does kitchen and bathroom countertops, like really nice ones. And they just have one single rude commercial unit that serves their office space for all of their admin staff. So just gonna do a service on it, change the filters. Even though this unit only serves their administrative office, look at their filters. Every quarter they're this dirty. Oh, how do you see that? There we go. Let's see if you can see through it. A little bit.
Once again, I didn't record very much of this service because I've done it so many times on the vlog, but here I'm just jumping out heating and cooling to make sure that all of the components work as they should, and there are no faults here except the coil is quite dirty, so I'm going to suggest a cleaning. Trevor and I are headed to the last job of this vlog, a lawyer's office where their AC just wasn't working. It's 27.5 degrees in there. The air handler was still working, so it was still moving air around, but there was just no cooling coming from the rooftop unit. So up we go. We found this unit simply with no power coming to it. There's just no power coming out of the disconnect. So we went on a little adventure to try and find the breaker panel. We go into the mechanical room here, and you guys, I just have to laugh every time I come to this place. The workmanship, whoever installed these units, what a spaghetti junction. What a mess. So it seems like all of the AC units in this building come to this one breaker panel, except the unit we're working on. Everything is beautifully labeled. I mean, it's all handwritten, but it's all there. But our unit is just not on this list. No cooling call right now. We're just working on this unit, trying to figure out some power issues. But look at this nice view we have here. What a stunning day to be on a rooftop. There's some water over here. How nice is that? All right, back to work. So we ended up calling the landlord, and he told us there was a secret panel in the back.
There's a 60 amp furnace.
Ha. Perfect. All right, we found a hidden breaker that was tripped downstairs. So now we got to figure out why it tripped. So we've checked a bunch of things and can't really see a reason why this thing tripped. So
I checked everything.
we checked we're a team. Anyway, so we're just kind of sit here for a little while and monitor things, monitor pressures and amperages and stuff like that, and see if we can see why this got tripped. It's a really nice day to spend in the sunshine. All right, well, still nothing over here. Our suction pressure is a little bit high, but that's because it's like 27 degrees in the space downstairs, so it's got a lot of work to do. And it has been coming down a little bit, so we're gonna spend another like 10 minutes or so just monitoring, and then, I don't know.
All right, guys. Well, that's all the HVAC adventures I have for you this week on the HVAC Diaries HVAC vlog. Thank you so much for joining me on another exciting adventure-filled week. And I look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same time, same place. What am I trying to say? Okay. So this week was a mixed bag of running errands, doing errands, running them, running errands. Let's try that again. Okay, bye. Wait, they've got this island cooler. It's like a reach-in cooler. It's an island cooler. Wow, I don't know how I'm explaining that. Oh. You guys know the water pump that we also installed a... No.
Look at all the meat juices all over it.
I'd rather not.
Okay, your stuff's in my way now. Not there.
Oh my goodness. Sounds like a dream.
He's running. Just started now, yeah. It's running like.
So loud. Trying to film over here. Okay.